Hey, yo, this is SamAnt, and oh, God, make sure you go check out our podcast, the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast, on radio.com. You've seen us on YouTube, over 800,000 subscribers strong. Now, if you want to listen to your brothers raw, real, uncut, and most importantly in full, go check us out on radio.com, where we bring you the latest news on all things hip-hop, sports, relationships, politics, you name it, we cover it. The most dangerous podcast out to date, the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. Check us out 4 days a week on the radio.com app. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Don't be sitting on your ass.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. So yeah, man, definitely, powerful our relationship segment of this podcast, the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. We always try to give it to you at least a couple times a week. We drop 4 episodes, try to mix in a little relationship in, because we know we got the female demographic that watches, and they definitely enjoy these type of conversations, man.
Facts, man. And salute to the females, the beautiful females that listen to the podcast. If you have any suggestions that y'all want us to rap about, because we talk about whatever y'all want us to, drop it in the comment section, as well as that 5-star rating.
Yeah.
You already know we the hottest out here, the most underrated out here. And this is why we do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, we had a powerful conversation, a powerful podcast yesterday, and we got into the audio came out via TMZ and a few other outlets of Jayz's press conference sitting beside Roger Goodell, but Charlemagne the God was in this conference, SamAnt, and he made a statement today that he on his Instagram that I thought was very alarming.
Yeah, man, and I got that up for for the people. Let me read that real quick, and I'll get the perspective. Let's go. Let the record show that the NFL edited all my questions to Roger Goodell. I asked Goodell, was Cap blackballed, and he said no. Owners can sign him whenever they want. I also asked him about people saying this partnership is disingenuous because Cap does not have a job, and I told him the best PR move the NFL could do is to sign Cap. But it's all on the cutting room floor somewhere. But this post isn't about me, though. It's about the conversation being had. Like I said in the previous post, Cap's protest worked and continues to work. Awareness is being raised, and after awareness comes action. In order to be successful and sustain any process of meaningful change, both awareness and action are necessary. I don't see why anyone would think Jay is doing this for any reason other than he thinks he can make a real change. He has not shown us he knows how to move in a room full of vultures. NFL, shady, it need to be taken over. It may work, it may not work, but why root against it when so many brothers playing in a league and communities they care about can benefit from it? If not this way, then what's the plan? We don't have to have the same course of action. We just need to have the same goal, but do not listen to me, though. I have on a paper plane hat with blah, 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 blah. I am with Cap shirt right now. I can't be trusted. Oh, God. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. It's a lot there, to kind of cover, but let's just start, from the top in this whole situation. I think that, looking at the consensus of the people, and the commentary that we did, it's definitely split, but I think that the messenger here, the person that's that's taking the torch, the Harriet Tubman torch, Jay-Z in this case, you know what I mean? He's not the best communicator, and I think he hasn't made his objective clear enough to the people exactly what they're trying to do, because me and you keep talking and we keep saying, okay, now Charlemagne says, yeah, Colin Kaepernick's protest work to a certain extent. It's not about him getting his job back, but then the only thing you throw us is say is, okay, Jay-Z's going to be the creative control guy over the halftime show and bring talent in. And maybe somewhere in that, they're going to address police brutality. I don't know how entertaining is going to do that, but hey, we'll wait and see. But I think with Charlemagne, and it shows with the NFL that they still clearly have an agenda, editing things out, not putting the right just put the whole thing out for the people to see, every single question unedited, to where people can see and hear and have dialogue about this, because to me, it's too many things that are unclear about what exactly is going to go on. And in regard to police brutality, there hasn't been a change. But again, I do want to applaud that, at least the goalpost is now moving to another thing, but I don't truly trust Jay-Z in this situation here, and I don't think he has a track record. I disagree with Charlemagne when saying that Jay-Z moved in a room full of vultures. How? I mean, yeah, he did his thing, in the music, but this is something totally totally different. We're talking about police brutality. We're talking about black people and minorities and all other people that are being brutalized by police. And we're talking about a man, Colin Kaepernick, who took a stand against that, said, look, man, I want the NFL, I want, these teams to say something, to do something about this. Black men are dying in the street. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knee. And what did that organization do? That Jay-Z's partner up with? That organization said, look, we don't want you nowhere near doing this. We don't want you demonstrating in any 32 of our stadiums. We're not going to give you, even after all this, we're still not going to give you a job. And we're still going to make this situation uncomfortable for Colin Kaepernick, even though he's been very, quiet on this. Obviously, I think this is a very uncomfortable situation. It has been the whole time. So, I just think that it's something we definitely have to wait and see, but we definitely don't have to stop being critical and asking the right questions at this point.
Yeah, man. I would definitely agree. When we talked about it yesterday, one of the biggest questions that we brought up was, hold on, why wasn't Cap brought up the being blackballed? Why didn't Jay-Z ask people that? Does it seem as though we are afraid to make an uncomfortable conversation in a room full of white folk, a conversation that needs to be so that real progression can be forward? Because a lot of people will call themselves, they're not racist or things like that, but then they'll go inside of their comfortable bubble and close their eye or shut the door to the horrors and injustices that are going on outside of their nice little bubble. And that horror and all of that terror that's going on outside of that door could be a potential coworker that you say you love or care about, or could be your best or your son's best friend's parent who you are cool with, that you chill with at barbecues, but you closing your door ultimately makes you look like you're a part of the problem. So when you see things and people trying to bring conversation to that, and then you see what Jay-Z is doing and how we are told through the mainstream media, in particular through the black voices, the majority, not a lot, but the majority, to applaud this. My only question would be, and this is why I would love to have Charlamagne sit here, or anybody, for these kind of questions. What did you hear from Jay-Z in that conversation that we didn't hear because we weren't there, you were, that gives you the confidence that this move that he's making right here is going to change anything that's going on outside of here? Now, you say that Colin Kaepernick and the conversation, even though he doesn't have a job, it worked because of the conversation that's had. Well, I don't know if Eric Reed would agree with that. I don't know necessarily if Colin Kaepernick would agree with that. I don't know if my man Kenny Stills out in Miami would agree with that.
Right.
The brothers that are frontline going through this. Now, one question that I've asked myself, and maybe I'm being cynical, I don't know, but I'm a thinker. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to our podcast. Colin Kaepernick not having a job right now, although I've been on record, I'm gonna say it again, saying that he shouldn't even have any want to be in the NFL, but he should deserve a tryout and things like that. He does deserve the right, being an NFL quarterback, to have a tryout for the NFL if that's what he wants to do.
Absolutely.
Why isn't there more done? Or why does it seem like that conversation is trying to be distracted and just thrown under the wayside as much as possible? And even Colin Kaepernick, to a certain degree, got quiet about it. What was that payout about? Was that payout about him going, listen, man, you going, part of the agreement in this is you never talk about it, or you're ever never going to be in the NFL again? Because Roger Goodell said that the NFL owners have every right to go ahead and do that thing, but that doesn't mean that the NFL owners are going to do it. Collectively, they may have said, nah, F that.
Right.
He will never get on a team again. And we paid him to shut up. So what do you think about that dynamic?
Yeah, we would love to, hear, an official statement from Colin Kaepernick, regarding, Jay-Z joining up with the NFL, because I think it was not too long ago, he put like a workout video out. So obviously, he wants to, play football. This dude's been playing football his whole life. You know what I mean? And then I heard a lot of people saying he was asking for a lot more money than he was worth and everything. Like, the bottom line is, man, I think here is that you got this situation where, and I'll just remove it. Okay, it's not about Colin Kaepernick. It's not been clearly made on how Jay-Z joining up with the NFL is going to address police brutality and black men and minorities getting killed by police unjustly for pulling out wallets, for getting shot in the back. This has not been made clear yet. You know what I mean? So again, the only thing I can think of with this whole situation, SamAnt, is, this election season coming up, is people are putting themselves in place, for different candidates that are going to come. for politics to get the black vote. Because we got to remember, man, the black vote and black people in the NFL, you know, the people that support the NFL, obviously, you know what I mean, black people a lot, you know what I mean, but they're going to be Democrat. And Jay-Z rolls with Hillary Clinton, who has a very, very, you know, shady record. So, you know, I can't trust it, man. But I am going to, you know, not be too critical. You know, after this, we probably won't talk too much more about it unless there's more developments. But I will give it a chance, you know, to see what it can do first before we totally rip this thing apart, man. You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you a question before we move on, because this is obviously a chess game, not checkers, as we'll talk about in the next segment. But before we move on, oh God, I wanted to ask you this about the NFL. Is it the NFL's responsibility to do anything about police brutality? Is it sports' job at all to do anything for police brutality? Why do we feel as though they have to do anything? That was just a question that I was thinking about. I wanted to throw out there and kind of get some dialogue on.
Right. I mean, nah, they don't. They don't really have to do anything. Nah. I you know, I don't see, you know, why they would have to, you know, do anything. It's just a sports venue.
So why not just say that? Because they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, do you feel guilty? Is it something deeper than what's going on? Where does your money go? Is it to fund some things that are aiding the oppression of black people? How deep does this go? Yeah. Maybe that's why the conversation is being so strongly put on by Colin Kaepernick. Maybe he to a certain degree understood how deep it went and was like, nah, we got to do better than this. Right. And I salute him for that. The money payout, it remains to be seen. He's not really doing any interviews or anything like that, even though he's continuing to do things outside of the football field that's helping the youth and doing things and paying it forward, which is all we really asked to do. You see what Jay-Z is doing on a global scale, but I challenge the people listening and watching yesterday, listen in ourselves. Start at your home, start in your community, start in your local neighborhood. Try to change that before you give criticism of somebody doing it on a grander scale, way beyond your pay grade, and you giving criticism to wasting your time. Do something in your community, do something in your neighborhood, do something to your neighbor to help change them. And let's just build that and continue to build that. But like I said, chess game, not checkers. And it looks like Jay-Z's playing some more chess, oh God.
Yeah, and you got to still, I mean, you got to definitely salute, you know, once again, because again, you will have, and this is why I think a lot of the players in the NFL didn't really fall back and boycott in a mass scale, because the NFL is paying out millions of dollars. And the NFL, let's face it, that changed a lot of black kids' lives from the inner city with these contracts. So a lot of people are not willing to stand up, you know what I mean, and fight. I was actually trying to look for the original, you know what I mean, video. I want to play a little bit of it. I found it just now. The whole time where Colin Kaepernick explained why he wouldn't stand during the national anthem. I know it's the back end, but I just want to play a little bit of it so we can just get, you know, his original cause, because I think it's being lost here.
I mean, ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people, you know, realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust. People aren't being held accountable for. And that's something that needs to change. That's something that, you know, this country stands for: freedom, liberty, justice for all. And it's not happening for all right now.
Is this something that's evolved as a philosophy in your mind? And how has this kind of progressed as we make a stand like this?
It's something that I've seen, I've felt, wasn't quite sure how to deal with originally. And it is something that's evolved. It's something, as I've gained more knowledge about, you know, what's going on in this country in the past, what's going on currently. These aren't new situations. This isn't new ground. It's things that have gone on in this country for years and years and have never been addressed, and they need to be.
Will you continue, Colin, to sit? Will you continue to sit?
Yes, I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. To me, this is something that has to change. And when there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
Specifically, what would you like to see change in her for you to stand?
There's a lot of things that need to change. One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right. That's not right by anyone's standards.
Colin, some people see the flag as
as kind of a symbol of military. How do you view it, and what do you say to those people?
You know, I have great respect.